Hello, everybody! Wow, I immediately ran out of juice. Whew. Okay, it's gonna be one of those shows. Hi, how you doing? I'm trying to do some tricks with the audio and stuff. We're going. We're live. Hello. How? Okay, I have the pop-out chat pulled up. Yes, we're live. It's alive. Love to see all those membership stars. Hi, everybody! It's Oops All Omega today. So, to recap why we're here really quick, because there's quite a few of you already. Thank you for showing up. And I'll have to reiterate this a couple of times because we're live and people will filter in and out because we're going to be here for a little bit. But you hopefully saw our tweet yesterday. We were both super tired. I was really tired. I wrote up all the show notes and stuff while also, like, catching up on the event and whatnot. Lucky took a nap. Lucky got back home from work and, like, took a nap, apparently, and he woke up and he was like, oh, shoot, I took a nap. I forgot. I'm still tired. Let's skip it. I'm like, okay. And then Lucky comes back to me tomorrow. Wow, my voice kind of crackled there a little. Lets you know how I'm doing. And Lucky's like, I still don't feel great. I don't know why I want to do the show. He had enough juice to get me a, well, I also posted it on our Discord, so there's multiple avenues of news. Yeah, I've done. But, yeah, Lucky was like, I don't feel up to doing the stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm fine. I'll do it. Can you get me a thumbnail? And he's like, okay, have a thumbnail. Throws a thumbnail at me. And if I hadn't already committed to the bit, I probably would have skipped it too. But there's a decent amount of stuff. But I am also, like, very tweered already. So, yeah, that's what we're dealing with. I'm already sleepy, so hopefully this won't take too long. But we're going to run you through the news and stuff and the shows. And we can't really call it a pregame because the event's been going for technically, like, 2 days. Some of you lunatics may have already finished everything. But I'll tab us over the scene. There we go. Okay, we popped in. All right, sick. Let me know how the audio is balanced. I think this should be a fine level. You should be able to very faintly hear some FGO music in the background while we go. I am also not recording this version for audio and for patrons. I apologize because you guys, you know, support us so much. But like I said, I'm already really freaking tired. I you know, got up to get ready to go through this and fill my water up, and I was like, wow, okay, I can't stand up from my chair again. Otherwise, I might not make it back here. I'm beat. Daylight saving time sucks, y'all. And Lucky's a trooper in general for, like, being able to still do, like, half of this stuff. And also, he's got, you know, he's still doing a full-time job. Because you guys don't pay us enough for him to do this full-time necessarily. So, like, I don't begrudge him when he takes days off. I don't think he begrudges me when he takes days off. So we're just, yeah, we're doing a What Up FGO news desk thing. Even though, you know, we're doing a little oddball, I would, of course, still like to shout out our patrons. Our highest level patrons get shout-outs. They include Adam DeHart, Blacklist OG, Carlos, Dragon, Ferris, Footy Iceberg, Jeremy Vasquez, Just the Fate, John Sandoval, Starlight, Legendary Boss Hunter, Ruger Raptor, Rise of Kenji, Rogue Robin, Charvor, Some Prior, Some Guy Named Bob, 723, and Varian the Crow. And if you like what we do and want to see us do more, please support us on Patreon. There's multiple levels to get multiple fun things. You could have gotten access to our Wanted video a little early. And in general, I don't know for sure because the YouTube views are being really weird. They're, like, sticking for a couple of days before they update. Like, I checked today, and I know that the Thursday Final Fantasy stream was short because I was kicked out of the Final Fantasy servers. It hasn't, like, gotten a view in, like, 3 days. I'm pretty sure that's not correct. Whereas the What's Up, not the What's Up, the What's Up did go up as well. The Fail Portrayal is, like, really up in views. So, hopefully it's just a little bit of lag there. But I would love for you to check out the Wanted on Galatea if you haven't already. As you guys may know, the Grand Order Wiki is down, as far as I can tell, still. So I used to basically, I really liked the way their website was formatted, so I used to pull my graphics from there a lot, and kind of, you know, play with them to build a collage, and I can't do that no more. I mean, I could access, like, Internet Archive, but that would be a huge pain in the butt. I, you know, still did that thing, so let me make sure I've got chat on a pop-out so I can keep you guys up here and be like, hi, chat. You're going to see me say hi, chat, technically a couple of seconds before I type it, but, you know, I've got you pulled up in the pop-out so I can do all that stuff. Lucky actually wrote an intro before he passed out. I won't read it to you, but it's there. You can read it yourselves. Did the Patreon bumper. We're trucking. You guys got back to me. That's cute. But yeah, so I had to basically, relatively on the fly, because I was like, oh, right, wanted. So I had to relatively on the fly, like, just, you know, engage my graphic design brain and get the assets together for that. There's some other asset shortcuts, which you will find out about if you watch the video. I encourage you to do it. The script was a little rushed, but I think it covered all the stuff we got to do. But I'm very, very eager for feedback on how that worked out, because it took me a little bit of extra effort to, you know, cobble it together and will in the future, and I want to know if people like it, because if they don't like it, I gotta come up with another one. Hold on. I think I have to sneeze. Ow. Yeah, I did. Ugh. Sorry. My sinuses are probably fuckled because the temperature has been all around. Hey! Thank you, Furtree, for gifting a membership. Actually, just cruising out here with free memberships. Well, it works. I'm pretty sure gifting memberships in YouTube chat goes to people who are, like, longtime subscribers first. So it's neato. Hold on, I have to go grab my handkerchief and blow my nose, so wait just a tick, chat. I'm going to step away from you for a sec. Or, you know, roll away. I don't know how faint that was. I was definitely not on mic. Hold, please. Okay. Alright. Yeah, watch hours and sub length. Which for us, of course, as always, you guys are absolute lunatics, and, you know, even when our individual view counts aren't super high, you guys crank out so many watch hours on our stuff, so thanks. As always, I'm so glad. Though I understand, I've been watching back through some stream stuff, so we'll take some chat time after I power through the news, but I do gotta power through the news, because otherwise I will die. But I just wanted to remind you about Wanted and get us through that. And buy a little bit of space before the segment that involves the hard F. It's not super important. It's only like 7 seconds, and I kind of pace that out a little with the music. But, you know, I like to play it safe. It's important. But so let's check in with everybody's favorite Kohai real quick.
Senpai. Senpai. 起きてください.
Because we're waking the fuck up, senpai. It's time for pro tips. Pro tips. Pro tips. Wow. Okay, you guys are gonna get. You guys are gonna get a fun Omega today. It's only 7 p.m. I haven't even been awake that long because of daylight savings time. Like, I think I've existed like since noon, because it's all real goofed up. But I'm already like tired, so you're gonna get fun Omega today. Okay. Anyway, the pro tip. It's really simple. It's a tower event. That means this is where we remind you, level all your servants. That's as jingly as I can get right now. But yeah, level all your servants. It'll be easier because of stuff and things that we're going to talk about in a second when we get down to the news. But just in general, you know, you've got big long timers on your servants. And this is always an encouragement to level your servants and to appreciate your low-level servants, because the way the CEs work actually, you know, shake this all out. Yeah, some of you are lunatics and have already done all 100 floors and stuff. I will let you know right now, it's not in my records or anything, but I'm at floor 30. I had a little bit of slow start because I had to catch up on stuff, but... Excuse me, burpee all of a sudden. But yeah, I'm actually, like, in the event and stuff. And we'll, like I said, it's not quite a pregame anymore, but I will cover all of your event basics if you happen to be a newer FGO player and stumble across this video or stream. You know, you've never done one of our tower events before. Somebody in our Discord, I think a couple of people actually, were lamenting that this type of event is actually kind of rare. There hasn't been another tower event, I don't think, in the 2 years before we get to JP. And it's a shame because FGO does actually only have, like, maybe 10 event types? Hey, that's okay if you just started, you know? Some of you are busy over the week as well. Like, it started, like, on the middle of a Thursday night. And there was some weirdness. By the way, if you were confused by what was happening Thursday night, technically Friday morning, you are not alone. I don't know if there was a separate, like, recompense for it, but there was actually a weird bug. We were technically in maintenance. Maintenance was scheduled, but somebody forgot to set the message correctly, so it just gave you the app error disconnect. even though the new update wasn't up. So they eventually fixed it. The update did get added, and maintenance was actually properly displayed. But yeah, if you were like really confused at like midnight or whatever Thursday night, because the event doesn't start for 4 hours, but you can't log in, that's why. It was a little weird. But it's fine. They sorted it all out. Yeah, we just got the 4. We'll see if they, like... Technically, it's not wrong because the app version was wrong, right? So we'll see if they throw in an extra apple or anything. But otherwise, I think it was just a weird glitch. I made the joke in our Discord. Wrong lever. Wrong lever! But okay. So that's your pro tip. Level all your servants. It makes tower stuff way easier. You have to go back to the well a lot less. I haven't even used, I think, any of my... No, that's not true. For some of the extra class stuff. And for some of those secret stores every 5 levels, those are actually pretty tough. Those have, like, 3 waves to start always. So I've actually had to bust out a couple of 5-star extras. But for, like, core classes, I haven't even gotten into my real shit. Which is always fun. My phone is charging right now, so I can slam a jam more of these probably while I lay in bed. And watch people stream Final Fantasy VII. Anyway, let's talk about your master missions. I don't know, actually. I assume he was playing 14 earlier, but like I said, he said that he still felt really tired and crappy. Yeah, he's not up to the show, so I don't know. I'm already pretty sure because Loth's not here, we're not playing Stellaris tonight. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully he gets some sleep. Also, you should hope that I get some sleep, because if I'm this tired at 7 o'clock on a Sunday, we not gonna be gaming. Ugh. I might need extra coffee. Anyway, I'm not gonna bother with coffee today. That'll fuck my sleep schedule up. I'm just gonna try and go to bed. So, let us move on to something more mechanically relevant, rather than just Omega reiterating for the 4th time he's tired, and the climate sucks. It's gonna be cold again tonight. It's gonna be like 40 degrees after it was like 80 degrees yesterday. It's just all over the place. It's killing me. Let's ask a question. Did you finish your master missions? So, I mean, they're pretty simple. You got to defeat 10 servants. I started in the middle of the list for some reason. Defeat 10 servants, defeat 15 enemies with the dragon trait, defeat 15 enemies with the male trait, get 3 gems or statues, so either gold or silver monuments, through battle, or 3 skill gems, and then do 5 and do 10. You can basically do this either through the event or through the training grounds. If you want the dragons, I think the cheapest is Jura Forest in Orleans. Chat can double-check me on that. I think that also has a male. Doesn't that have Shadowlance a lot? That one's probably pretty rapid to get most of this shit done, because that'll cover a lot of your stuff. But the actual, like, tower events are pretty cheap. The only thing you're going to want to worry about is dragons. And, again, you could also just as easily pick those up in, like, training grounds, because, spoilers for a later note, all training grounds are open all day since the Akihabara update. So you should be able to catch up on this. So we're going to scroll down. Oh, and to remind everybody, I don't do mailbag while Lucky is away. Lucky is mailbag's gimmick. You can tell I have not fucking proofread my notes. If you ever wonder, if you ever listen to an episode and you hear me talk about how my notes are wrong or I've goofed up the script, that stuff happens. But yeah, I don't do mailbag when Lucky's not here. It's his thing, his idea. He does the thing. That's part of the process. I leave that to him. If you're concerned about your mailbag being read, usually when we skip a week, we double up. So we'll get into all that. Though I do have a poll for a bonus Thursday stream. Yes, we do bonus Thursday streams. The polls are back to being public for everybody. So anybody can go to our community page right now and vote on that. And I see that, as usual, you people are voting for me to suffer. Because I believe, last I checked, our number 1 and number 2s are you want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Okay, the AP's fully uploaded. I'll be getting that to you soon. Our leaders, though, were, when I last checked, it's about the same number of votes, so we'll see. It's probably about there. Yeah, it's 41% Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, 32% God of War Ragnarok. You want me to go beat up more Berserkers? Because that was kind of open-ended. I said I might do that for a bonus stream. So, yeah, thanks, guys. You're the best. Just make sure that all of you who are voting will watch the stream. Thanks. Okay. We have actual news this week, though, which is why we're here doing this news update desk live stream thing. I think I need to, like, ratchet down my energy levels. I'm trying way too hard to put power through, and it's really tiring me out. I'm going to take a big sip of water, and we're going to try and roll it back a little, chat. We're up here. We want to go down here now. All right. Actual hecking news, though. In JP, we have Tales of Chaldean Heavy Industries is the translated title. Started the 17th, goes until the 7th, so the full 3 weeks as usual. But looking at it, this appears to be a fully asked event for CBC. Not just like Slapstick Museum was just like some free quests and a new quest every day. We're talking like there's a point ladder, there are bonus servants, the works. This is a full thing, which is nice. I know that a lot of people have been kind of complaining that FGO has been a little content light, at least in JP, since the start of this year. Like, obviously, it feels like there was a long delay, or not even a long delay, but like a week or two delay on all the parts of Lost Bolt 7 coming out and setting up for our next, segments and stuff. So, yeah, there's definitely some dearth sin content, so they seem to at least be going ham to come back to this. We have the usual CBC login. You log in for 7 tickets, plus each ticket now has 500 QP per day. That's pretty cool. I think that might be new to this year. And there's a command code at the end. Also, you get a voice message. There's new CEs to exchange. You can see one of them in the thumbnail. And we have a brand new banner servant. We have a new limited SSR archer, Takasugi Shinsaku, and Hector is also on there, plus CEs. Also, they already announced and are showing off, there's the full CBC-style rotation of male banners as well to look out for. We also got an Emiya Alter rank up, an Edgemia rank up. His projection buffs now last 3 turns, and give him a 20 to 30% battery on top of that. I believe that's his actual latest update. But yeah, that's cool. That's pretty good for him. He's story locked, so keep an eye out for him on some of those banners maybe, but kind of a missed opportunity to put him on the mainline banner with Shinsaku and stuff. But anyway, it's there. I think this just means that Kiritsugu is the only one who doesn't have like a proper cool rank up among the Emiya lads, and he could probably use it. Hopefully they find an excuse to work him in sometime. His Magecraft probably needs to be multiple turns or something. Also some fun My Room features. Oh yeah, I can tell I'm projecting too much. I'm hitting the yellows a lot in the bar. Hopefully I'm not too loud, chat. Let me know if I'm hurting your ears. Anyway, My Room feature, you've got rotating backdrops. So every day or couple of days, they'll switch to a new type of backdrop. And also, you can put 2 servants in your My Room during this limited time period, presumably for sweet screenshots. Seems pretty fun, pretty funny. Okay. Thank you. I gotta remember, I gotta keep it down here. Hello. It's a smooth, sleepy episode of Let's Talk FGO today. I'm trying to remember all my Mr. New Vegas quotes, but I don't, because he's not really memorable. Now, if you want me to, I can quote Three Dog all day. Tick, tick, tickety means run your ass out of there. Anyway, NA, we switch. Akihabara explosion! With an exclamation point. The city of wishes and the sculptures engraved with love. That is the full level there. Well, I gotta be careful. I don't want to make us all fall asleep. We got stuff to go through. There's new servants and things. But, yeah. So that's our full title of the event. It starts the 17th. It goes until the 30th, so you can tell it's only the 2-ish weeks. It is a tower event. Clear floors, get stuff. We'll have a little guide segment in a sec to cover all that. Not really after too much of a break. But there's actually a login bonus for this. Get some ticks, get some St. Q's, get some apples. We have separate banners, obviously, for Galatea, Nero Bride, also Kabahime, plus CEs. As I mentioned earlier, all Embers and Training Grounds are available until the 26th. We also have a class-specific summon campaign going on until the 28th. In general, you are discouraged from such banners, though there are some fun times in there, but because there is no specific rate-up servant, there's no pity rate on this. It's just freeballing. So, keep that in mind, all right? If you're gonna go for it, remember, there's no safety net or anything for this. It's just all pure chance and happenstance. God, how do I do it? Rhymes all the time. Rhymes in the description, rhymes in the video, rhymes in the outro. If you're watching this at a later date, give me some rhymes in the comments. But that's, in general, our news. New servant, new CBC. Yeah, there's an extra class 1 if you want to pick up any of your Salieri copies, if you've lost any or you're not at NP5 yet somehow, if you've been playing for a shorter time. That is true. He's basically still the only 3-star you can pick up there. So, great opportunity. Check him out. Slam and jam. Other than that, it's not ideal. There are a couple of notes. Keep it in mind. And if you are actually newer in the game, there's usually a lot of like start dash bonuses and stuff that are going on, and there's loads of new Saint cards coming in when you're clearing stories, so you might take a gander at some rolls. I know people like to stockpile, but you know, you gotta cover niches, niche protection. All right, Chad, I'll ask you. Do you want to talk about Akihabara Explosion first? Or you want to talk about new boy who dis? I'll let you pick. How long have you been going? Okay, got all the other news. 20 minutes. Let me fast forward my preview. Yeah, 20-ish minutes. So a little longer than usual. Also, to be fair, I was yelling about other stuff. No? Okay. Got a couple new boy who dis. All right, let's check in. Let's alternate. So, new servant details. We have a new boy from the Bakumatsu period. That's what Lucky's talking about in the intro he wrote, that you hopefully read there, at least. Takasugi Shinsaku, he's, you know, fairly important. He was a character in Rurouni Kenshin. So, if you don't know, this is referenced in his NP and stuff. He is responsible for the founding of the... Lost my cursor for a second. Sorry, I'm completely forgetting how to spell this, which means I can't pronounce it. I'll have to double check it. I was going to talk about the militia he was associated with, but then I was like, my ability to spell has died. That's how freaking sleepsome I am. Yes, I don't know. This is Oops All Omega for now. Okay. Yeah, what was the name? Because it's the name of his NP, but I'm really bad. Ah, Kiheitai. There it is, yeah. I thought there was a sh in there somewhere. But yeah, so... basically, the short version of this is... Takasugi Shinsaku. He was in the early Bakumatsu period. He was responsible for a lot of major forms. He was from the Choshu region originally. He, you know, kind of started a lot of thought process and stuff. Had to go underground a couple of times because the Tokugawa were out for him. But he basically started a trend of training militia. Basically, what we would understand as militia. Normally, you know, under the actual, you know, Tokugawa setup, you should only have samurai owning weapons. So Takasugi, you know, pushed for recruitment of commoners and samurai and all kinds of stuff into training new military organizations, and that's where his Noble Phantasm is drawn from. You know, kind of moving to a modern volunteer militia and military system. Like I said, he was big in the early Meiji Restoration. He died young, so he wasn't really a leader in there, but he was celebrated because the Tokugawa were out to get him. So he's an archer. He's got basically the same attack and HP counts as, say, Sharingan, so higher attack, lower HP. Pretty low HP, actually. Say's like, I think like third lowest. He's got the Q to Q to A and the B with the good hit counts and the solid NP gain. Let me actually pull up those numbers for y'all. You can tell when I wrote this, I wasn't necessarily planning on solo moding it, so I wasn't ready to have all this stuff reclapsed. But his actual NP gain percentage is 0.57. So yeah, definitely in the middle. Pretty good hit counts. He's got 444, so slightly above average for everything, especially with 2 quick cards that'll work out. So his NP is fairly straightforward. It's an AoE quick. It increases all of his card performances for 1 turn based on overcharge first, starting at 20%. And increases his critical damage for 3 turns, activating first. Though, I assume that's just, like, part of the programming process. You genuinely don't need him to crank up his critical damage before he activates his NP. But he does. That one's base 30, max 50. So this is a servant that probably is going to reward you for multiple NP levels. So keep that in mind. But it's a very, very straightforward NP. First skill is pretty simple. Gives the party 10 to 20% Buster and Quick for 3 turns, and then a 1-time 3 turns of NP overcharge levels. Always pretty fun. Also is helpful to him as well. Because it, gives him more boost to his stats. And your next skill is just gives a targeted ally 30 to 50% crit up for 3 turns, but it also reduces their skill cooldowns by 1 turn. Yeah. So that's a fun one. And then the final skill gives himself a pretty normal one-time 3 turns guts. It's 1k to 3k, the average for a guts. Gives him 20 to 30% battery, pretty average for a battery, and increases his own attack for 3 turns, 20 to 30%. Has a little bit of a longer cooldown because it's both NP gauge and a guts, but otherwise fairly solid. His passives are pretty simple. He's got a magic resistance D. He's a very new modern guy, so not a lot of magic resistance. Has a pretty powerful independent action B for high crit up, and then a unique passive that gives him another 6% crit damage and also 6% art, so his 1 arts card clock's pretty good. You can tell that Lasengel and when they were a division of Delightworks before them has really cottoned on to how units work, so... Took a sip of my water there. Arts cards are important for, charging NP and firing off and doing all that stuff. So they've made it so that they usually come up with unique buffs or patch buffs that kind of make sense because they tied a lot of this nonsense to... class-based skills originally, and they realized that was not going to work out. But they, ratcheted this around so that usually servants get buffs to make up for, lagging, oh, I've only got 1 arts card. Let me make sure that's a really good card, Plus, that puts him up to a total of, I think, B is 8% crit damage, so it's 12. It's pretty good. It's like if he had IAEX. His kit is pretty simple, but it should be pretty effective with his stat line, and it's kind of evergreen, giving your team a Buster and Quick Up, giving them Overcharge, giving himself a Guts and Attack, giving somebody Crit Up. His Overcharge is just all card effectiveness, so he really, really benefits from the new Mighty Chain, I think. You can Mighty Chain with NPs, right? Pretty sure you can. So just, give him, Quick NP, Arts Buster, Quick NP, Buster Arts, whatever the hell you think the combo is, you should be able to get some fun extra damage out of him on his own. And his skill's a targetable cooldown reduction. It's only 1 turn, but still, that's a very rare ability. That's very slick. Obviously, I think he has some weaknesses. He's very offense-focused. I mean, in real life, this guy, Shinsaku, died when he was, 28, so... Okay, so you can Mighty Chain that way. Yeah, that's a mechanic we don't have over here yet, but hopefully. But so I think that's what he's set up for, is trying to do Mighty Chain stuff. He has, all card types up for 1 turn on his NP. Very clearly they want him to do, Brave Chains or Extra Chains. Mighty Chains, whatever it is, works out. So keep that shit in mind. But yeah, like I said, he's basically all offense. The only defensive ability he has is a very normal Guts with a very long cooldown that is also on his battery. I honestly wouldn't be shocked if Lasengel finds that he underperforms a little and he ends up with maybe a rank up, in a year or 2. I don't think it's, required. There are a lot of good archers, and like I said, his stat line is literally identical to, say, Shonagon's, though he hits a slightly different niche. They are both quick-based, but she's, quick arts with a special focus on, Shadow Servants and other weird stuff like that. Shinsaku is just do damage. Lead with an NP, generate lots of stars, do extra critical damage. So, all in all, I think, like I said, he feels like an evergreen servant. I don't know if mechanically he's going to be super in demand. His NP is 8 hits, though, so it's on that Scotty loop scale. You should keep that in mind. So, solid attempts. Also, in general, his production values seem fucking crazy. Have you seen this guy's NP video? It's like, oh, he can loop with Black Grail on his own. Okay, good. All right, that's good to know. You want to be careful with that because he doesn't have a lot of HP. He's pretty fragile. I think Lasengle knew what they were doing. But yeah, that's good to know. So, like, he's very well designed, so there's a lot of potential there. And like, as I was saying, his production value is nuts. His NP is like a whole fucking, like, boss intro video that ends with, you know, waves of soldiers and a giant robot shooting the enemy a lot. So, like, it's nuts. So, obviously, for you know, being a White Day boy, that's pretty good to see him get this high level. And hey, Lucky and I were talking about this last week. I'm up here. I need to be down here. Roll it back. Last week we were talking about, will we get a new servant for White Day? You know, we're kind of like 50-50 on it. Well, we did. And it's another figure who is thematically appropriate. I would say this might be a little bit better for a Guda Guda, but it's still in the right strike range. And actually, was this guy... I don't think anybody fully brought it up. Was this guy in a Guda Guda cameo before? His character design looks kind of familiar, so... I wasn't, you know, keeping track because he's got a variety of different looks in his different ascensions. But is this one off the Guda Guda bingo card, chat? See, now I get to chillax and wait for you guys to catch up with me and roll back. Guda Guda 6. Okay, good. Yeah, so that's nice to see him to punch that off the bingo card. It's always great to see. I personally think that's a really good use of a White Day to take another Hot Boy off the backlog. It was the Ryoma one, yeah. Yeah, Hot Guda Guda NPC. So we cleaned that one off our backlog, and that's a good use of this. So he's very, you know, thematically appropriate to FGO and stuff. Very timely. Well, with, you know, like a Dragon Ishin coming out and all that fun stuff. Been playing some Ishin, chat. I'm having a good time. I really, really love what they're doing with the story, and I like a lot of the combat stuff. I think Lucky said on stream that he doesn't like Wild Dancer. I fucking love Wild Dancer because I'm like a freak for dodging. I just wish there weren't so many hard stuns in that game. It definitely feels older and clunkier because you get your ass beat and pushed to the floor a lot. But, yeah. Takasugi Shinsaku, very high production value. Good to see him off the backlog, see him pull out of there, and a great use of time. That means that we don't necessarily have to rely on just Guda Guda events to get people out there. And overall seems pretty solid. I don't know if that's a role for me, where, as usual, I'm going to use the power of my clairvoyance to know well ahead of time what else is coming. But I think it's pretty solid. There's a lot of you in chat. Thank you so much. We're only 30 minutes in. My preview screen is lagging like hell. All right, well, let's run through our other big bit of news, though I will also, like I said, since I wrote these notes yesterday, I've actually, you know, played 30-ish floors of this event, so I could talk about that a little. But we're not really going to call it a pregame, because Albert works in mysterious ways. I believed I called that Akihabara would be soon. It would not be instant, though, because they have a pregame, you know, a pre-release campaign of their own version of the pregame. Yeah, if they do another Guda Guda event, we should. We'll see. Then again, with their policy of doing, like, 3-week events like this, I'm sure, especially because I don't know what the next story event gonna be, guys. I don't know when that coming or what it's gonna look like. But especially with that state, probably we'll get a new Guda Guda this year, hopefully. Ooh, Tree Rave. Nice. Anyway, like I said, I called that this would be coming soon, and some people were maybe not counting on it coming this soon. I still cut it a little too close. So, got to keep that in mind. I believe we're talking about for JP. For NA, we've got other stuff coming up. Yeah, you caught it. Yes, that's another thing. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to roll for Takasugi. I'm glad that they got him in there for that, but the arcade collab is coming up, and a lot of people are holding out hope if it's Tiamat. Honestly, if it's the cooler-looking Mother Draco, I'm also probably for that. I definitely want it to be cool, though. Anyway. We got some stuff. We'll find out soon. But, yeah. They had a pre-release campaign, so I figured this wouldn't be right away. It might be both. I don't know. Those both feel like 5 stars to me, but when you've got these big blocks of 3-week events, you can do multiple servant releases. We also, I mean, if they just want to do Sweater Tiamat as like a new welfare alter ego, sure. We don't technically need the different ascensions, but I think it'd be interesting to bring over her kit and everything. Anyway, chat, you keep distracting me. That's what you're doing. Ugh. Let me roll my neck bones. While you guys think of something else to distract me with. Stretch my bones. But it's not really a pregame. We're here. We're rocking. So let's run through these type of event. I know some of you haven't gotten started yet. Yeah, Legendary's down to clown. But there still might be some stuff. I know, like I said before, some of you are freaks, and in 2 days have already cleared 100 floors. Yeah, good on you for the grind set, I guess. But my phone battery would fucking die. But this is a tower event. If this is your first time seeing them, you know, we call them tower events or 100 towers. Sometimes we call them Setsuban type events because that was the original one that came out if you weren't playing yet. But basically, it's got a mechanic like this. First of all, I'm going to warn you, though. This event says it only requires Fuyuki to clear, but warns you that enemies will be Final Singularity Solomon level difficulty, so if you're not through all of Part 1, you want to be careful. Some of these guys will be hard. But basically, the way this works is you have 100 floors. They're not literally floors the way this one is set up, and we can talk about like the event stuff in a second, you know, first impressions and all that. But they're usually referred to as floors. You have 100 floors. They're all separate, unique battles you do. Every 10 floors, you unlock a new story quest. Or rather, every 10th floor, I should say technically, but you know what I mean. You unlock a new story quest. This advances the story. You keep climbing. However, you have a couple unique restrictions. There are no... I wrote that as story supports, but technically it's actually there are no... I'll amend that if you're reading along. No supports allowed, period, during floor quests. And you can use all 6 slots. No mandatory sixth slot for the support. But after you use a servant, they are fatigued. I believe the technical term when we are translating is exhausted. And you can't use them again for 6 hours of real time. This is a real-time timer. It counts down from 6 eras. 6 eras. But you will have access to a break area. The break area has a limited number of slots. It starts at 1, but as you expand further, it gets more. Placing a servant in the break area reduces their cooldown time by 50%, so if they're at the full 6 hours, it takes them down to 3. If you wait a couple hours out of break, but you feel you need them sooner, you slot them in, it goes from 4 to 2, etc. If they have an affinity with a unique slot in the break area, it's a 66% reduction. And you'll unlock additional slots / areas in the break area as you progress the story. As you clear floors, you'll unlock hidden Akihabara quests, which are like little mini CQs. They're going to have team building restrictions. They're usually like 3 waves and some stuff. They offer you additional mats, MP, QP, etc. I believe they're on a different timer than the exhaustion stuff normally, though they are still require the 6. Or maybe just dying doesn't exhaust your servants. Yeah, I've dubbed out on a couple of these. These are hard. You should take these seriously. Even if they're every 5 floors, they come at you like a full event quest. So keep that in mind if you're doing these. Also, chat, I lied. There's 200 floors. Sorry, I hit my pop filter with my nose. But there's 200 floors, actually. Only the first 100 are needed for story completion. This unlocks a final 100 floors, which are basically an extra challenge and reward for post-game completion. There's some extra shit in here that we'll talk about. Since there's like 200 floor quests, we're not covering all of them. But I can talk about the actual story quests, of which there are only 14 technically. Completing all of your actual story quests will net you a copy of the 3-star CE, a Holy Grail at the end, 10 Saint Courts in between, and also will help you unlock more rest areas so you can progress faster. To do this, you're going to have to deal with some mini-bosses and some mobs. You'll have like 50k HP for some mobs, maybe 100k to 150k HP for mini-boss mobs type stuff. And you can have some serious servants in there, servant bosses with up to 200k HP and with break bars. The classes are also all over the place. You might have a few special story buffs and debuffs to deal with, but none of it should be too crazy. The main thing I do want to note down, for those of you who are not already through all 100 floors, and for everybody in the hereafter, the final boss does have some gimmicks that I want to run through pretty quick, like we usually do on a pregame, and like I said, hopefully this is still relevant to most of y'all. But the final boss is a Berserker. They're going to have 3 break bars. They will have a warm-up hopeless fight, which lasts, like 3 turns or something, and then you actually got to do the real fight. The real fight, they will have 150, 175, and 185k HP. I didn't write down the K, but hopefully you understand the kilo. The 1,000 is implied there. And they have a gimmick. They're going to charge 2 NP ticks per turn, and they have your favorite buff, defense up, and special damage resistance up all the time. However, after the turn they fire their NP, which will be single target, they will get a defense and resistance down for 1 turn. So the resistance up and defense up buff goes away, and their defense and resistance is actually reduced for a turn. When you break their bars, they are going to fucking siphon NP from your party, so get ready to stall. These boss gimmicks suck, by the way. When chat asks us in, like, mailbags or live stream chats, hey, what buffs and, like, gimmicks and shit do you guys like the least? This is it. Stealing NP and special damage resistance is like, okay, so we gotta play the waiting game here. But, luckily I got some servants for that. But, yeah, get ready to stall! Because you're gonna have to watch out for those special resistances, which are story buffs, so I do not believe you can get rid of them as usual, but gotta watch out. Also, this is a little weird. Yeah, it's stuff like that. You gotta be careful. If you've done Lost Belt 5.5, it's similar to some of those fights. They do this gimmick a couple of times, actually. I think this was a bonus quest in somewhere else recently, too. I just can't remember it. Anyway, to assist you in these story-type quests, you will get some story supports. Your big headliners are going to be Galatea, of course, but also Nero, Osakawa Hime, and Erise, with some special cameos by combinations of, like, Ganesha, Tomoe, Tamakat, Maid Altar, Daon, Boudica. Galatea is the only bonus servant for this event. She does do extra damage, she gets extra bond, and she has much faster cooldown timers. I think she's plus 200% cooldown speed, so her exhaustion timer goes down way faster if you got her. But if you are rolling or you're going to spend tickets on this sort of thing, banner CEs do give you a bonus damage to servants of a rarity of the same or less than the CE. So the 5-star banner CE works for servants 5 stars and lower. The 4-star CE works as a bonus for SR and lower, etc. So the free 3-star you get is only good on your silver and bronze servants. There is also an award checklist. For clearing floors, every 5 floors you get some stuff. This is going to include EXPs, this is going to include extra mats, this is going to include gold foes, rare prisms, bond grails, plural, 6 copies of the event CE. I reiterate, 6 copies. Holy shit. They must have been hearing me bitching. And after floor 200, a lore. The event CE doesn't really give you... This 5-star event CE doesn't really give you a lot, but it does give you extra bond bonus fun time, so keep that in mind. It's cool. And let me actually go ahead and, since we're killing time in a live stream... See, that I deliberately made rhyme with, like, a slant rhyme. It wasn't very good, but I did it on purpose that time, at least. That wasn't just the natural cadence of my speaking voice. But since we are doing Stramatama, and there's like 26 of you or something right now, again, assuming the YouTube chaps and channels are correct, let me actually look up what the mat reward list is. Because it's some good stuff. So let's see, you're going to get mats like Warhorse Horns, going to get some pomegranates. Those are important, especially if you got a Galatea, or you want to get a Galatea. She needs a lot of pomegranates. You'll know if you watch that wanted. There's some Oni Lanterns, some Oni Fruits. Yeah, there's some good shit. We'll talk about that stuff in a second. There's some reverse scales and some black beast grease. And how many bond grails are there? 1, 2, 3? Is it just 3? Yeah. Still, 3 bond grails for free. Crazy. Now, you do got to go all the way to floor 190, but remember, you got 2 weeks to do this shit. And some people have done all 100 floors in, like, the 2 days we've got, so. But, yeah, this is real good. Also, in general, I will say the event CE is pretty funny. It's you know, like, it's a good one. It's Buster crit up and start with 15 crit stars, so max limit breaking that will probably be pretty cool for some builds and some setups. You might like that. But yeah, 6 copies, fucking 3 bond grails. Multiple rare prisms in the ladder. This is like a good event to get your grind on. It really rewards you for having the steez. So, you know, go on and get in there, chat. Don't forget also, Nero Bry got a Rinky Doodle Dandy. Yes, I wrote it that way. That is her flowers buff. It's on her heel. But this is a pretty good one for her. See, normally I can press out the awkward silences, but as I mentioned earlier, I am very sleepy, so I'm not even, I'm not even rolling audio at this. I had to say, yeah, it's Love of the People. It goes to EX, so it recovers allies' HP, and that's their defense up still. But also it now gives her, or rather gives them, 20 to 30% damage up versus the Sky or the Heaven attribute. Which is pretty solid. That gives her a lot of fun stuff for herself or others. Oh, no, actually, her second skill, I was like, so that's her first and third skills buffed. Do you think we need to buff the middle skill? No, actually, that's a fucking 40% attack up, targetable when maxed out for 3 turns. That's pretty good. And they get a star rate buff. That's actually good. So yeah, that's a pretty important one, though, for her damage flexing, so keep that one in mind. I had a little time and space to space it out, but yeah, depending on how many servants you got, you can roll it, but you might need to wait or not wait. But yeah, that's basically Akihabara Explosion. Good luck, have fun, and watch out for those convention center lines, everybody. Am I right? Let me just, I know it's just on this tab, but let me take a gander. How long have we been gone? Okay, not even an hour yet. If we had a mailbag, I think some of you posted a decent number. We'd have a proper full-length show, but I'll faff around with y'all. But my first impressions of the event, very positive. I've seen some people kind of maybe not really complaining yet, but kind of rolling their eyes like, oh, look, it's another Nero event. Keeping in mind that while Nero Fests are pretty regular, it's not like we get a lot of Nero in Nero Fest, right? Like, there's usually, like, 3 frickin' cutscenes in Nero Fest. But, in general, like, this is a pretty fun assemblage. You know, you get, like, Edise comes in because she's from, or at least she hangs out a lot in Akihabara in her universe, which she mentions is completely different. We actually get to bring Mash with us, which is cute. Osakaba Hime is like, I am going. If I do not go, I will die. And, you know, Nero inserts herself because we find out that, and I love this, she used her Imperial privilege to hijack the command room, pre-ray shift to the Singularity, and did a fucking media campaign blitz to take over Akihabara. It's wild. It's wild, chat. Very in character, though. Also, yes, Edise talks about Voyager Fez, and there is just this that adorable little crowd surf sprite of Voyager that floated over. I was like, what the fuck is happening? I do hope that is a setup for a Voyager Fez at some point, because I think that would be pretty fun. And they did foreshadow it. But yeah, so, you know, you assemble the away team, you get going, you find out that Nero has once again horrifically abused her authority. It's very funny. And I think the first time we've ever actually encountered this issue of like, oh yeah, we detected a singularity. Oh, one of the servants already went there and actually fucked it up. But I think that this event obviously has an undercurrent, as a lot of events do, to introduce you to the new servant. So we meet Galatea pretty early, and I think they do a good job of setting up her character. They do remind you that she is technically a berserker, so she's not going to be like thinking and feeling. The Maid Cafe is 30. I haven't actually finished that one yet, but I do know that's what it is. That's a good one. But yeah, we actually get to meet Galatea. They remind you that she's a berserker, and so she doesn't operate quite normally. She does have the EX. You know, I talk more about this in the Wanted, and I will just pipeline you guys there if you want to hear my comments about that. But overall, it's pretty good. Not a lot of people brought this up, but I do like that they explicitly do talk about and bring up the pants, right? I'll scroll to the top. But, like, they mentioned that the pants and the gloves that are her normal First Ascension outlet are technically work clothes because she uses a blade. She's armed with a giant chisel, so safety first, chat. Even though technically she can make herself, you know, hard as ivory. The chisel is divine, so you gotta watch out for that. There's already some you know, fun stuff going back there to talk about all that. I love the little character cameos, like Odysseus bought a fucking gunpla because it reminded him of his Trojan horse. And of course, Odysseus is like, nah, you want to do a custom job on this? Nah, I'll take it, fam. I'm cool. You know, so you win a modeling contest and stuff. There's a lot of fun going on there. It's subtle, but there is a little commentary about girl gamers because you go to the game shop for 20 and the girls feel a little like pressured because there's a lot of weird Akihabara wish men. No idea how that translation, what that like is like in the original out there, but there's a lot of funny writing that we get into. It's a good showcase of Galatea. We kind of joke about where her mecha parts might come from. Because, you know, ancient Greece, it's got to be giant robots. I already talked about Odysseus with his gunpla. There's a little cameo scene where fucking Waver goes on a rant about the fatigue of video game franchises. Very funny. Yeah, Galatea mods the Ganesha statue to be like a fucking RGB desktop stand. Adorable. I love that shit. And there's a lot more of this stuff to come that I think will be very, very funny as we progress, obviously. And while Setsubun had some funny moments... Sorry, big yawn there. Well, Setsubun had some of its funny moments. At its core, it was kind of a more serious story, because it was about trying to, like, unpack Tomoe as a character. Yeah, if my phone's fully charged up, I'm going to do the Maid Cafe one next and get back to it. But that like had a serious core, but had a lot of comedic moments, especially in the hot springs. Amazoness was much more humorous. Yeah, and I like that we're just like letting servants visit this area. Like, you know, like I said earlier, Sakaba Hime called in her gamer buddies for that challenge. You're seeing the guys just rattling around. Fucking Sanzo showed up to like see like weird anime and video game versions of like Buddhist deities, and her opinion is just like, that's rad. You know, stuff like that. I'm sure we'll be getting better. And I do, there was another funny thing with like takoyaki. We got to see fucking Ibuki and Himiko hanging out eating takoyaki. What the fuck? I mentioned this earlier. I'm exactly at floor 30. I have not completed the floor 30 Maid Cafe tower. I was in the middle, but I had to eat dinner so I could set up to stram and stuff. Oh, please, I'm going to blow my nose. But yeah, continuing Suzuka and Seishonagon hanging out, very funny. Some Murasaki cameos there. But also, I just like the way they preface the exhaustion mechanic, like going to the actual like Akihabara Convention Center tower thing. The market tower is like life-threatening. Yeah, jam to CCC music. It's pretty good. Very well timed with Spinal Coaster playing. I've just got a best of compilation on the back, by the way. As I usually do when doing these streams. I like a little bit. Yeah, you got Kentucky and Suna hanging out, which is, you know, a new dynamic they can do. But, like, I know about this because while I've never worked retail, I've known plenty of people who have. There's several of them in our Discord. I knew some of them in college. Like, if you've ever been around, like, a flash sale or a pop-up store, or, God forbid, if you ever worked Black Friday, having, like... I have relatives who were, like, Black Friday deal hunter shoppers. I'm like, I'll wait for my fucking Amazon deals, okay? But, like, retail shopping can be dangerous. It can be very dramatic, and Japan definitely can get into some of that, like, heavy seriousness with, like, limited-time merchandise and shit. Yeah, Black Friday's bad. I've seen like the footage. Luckily, that seems to have gone down after COVID shut everything up for a couple of years. People seem to have realized, like, hey, basically rioting in stores the day after Thanksgiving after we're all fucking sleepy on turkey and shit. Not great. Let's not do that. It's gotten better, but yeah. And you know, Christmas shopping and other shit, you know, it can get whack. I've seen it happen. And convention lines for everything are also very similar. So like a lot of people I think have some relatable experiences here. So it's very funny that they're like, yo, you got to be a high level shopper to shop in here. You could lose your life. And I know part of it's like the mechanics of exhaustion, but I'm like, that's so perfect. That's so perfect that like, no, you don't understand. This is a high-level shopping scenario. But I love all the little bits, like the video game store as a video game tournament. I don't know exactly what the maid cafe setup is, but I'm sure it'll be funny. And obviously there is a maid cafe. That's pretty cool. But also, you know, just the figure shop and all the little cameos and shit. Street food. Like, it's fun. Also, want to throw this out there. As usual, but once again, the background artists fucking killing it, right? Like, I've seen the screenshots and shit in our Discord. I saw them obviously before. Some of them are very rude because we don't have them, but like, there's so much little detail in all these backgrounds. Like, if you stop for a second and pull up those backdrops, there's a lot of shit back there. Lots of little funny stuff. Like, I think, what channel was that posted on in our Discus? Our Briscus. Yeah, talking about people posting some fun images, but let's see. I think I might be in our spoiler chat technically. Yeah, they've got like manga and doujinshi and stuff store. They've got the fucking cover of like that stuff. You've got like the cute little the chibi like ibuki. Like, there's so much fun shit in here. It's real good. The different models that look like completely different genres, I greatly appreciate. Oop, time for True Wave 2. Like, yeah. You can tell when, like, the background artists have been to some nerd-ass nerd stores in their time. And it's great. I appreciate this. I feel this. But it's still pretty cool. Sorry, I'm clearing out my Discord notifications while I'm here, and I'm just being fucking flashbanged by words right now. Blah. Okay, I'm gonna minimize Discord and go back to chat. Oh, yes, no. The way we start this, I didn't mention that earlier, but so the fundamental setup to this event, in case you like were skimming through, or just to recap here, fucking Nero hijacked this entire singularity, right? She used her privilege to get the command staff to race shift her early and started like a viral marketing campaign to take over Akihabara because she misunderstood what the city is about. And, like, merchandised everything, and she's so fucking full of herself because she thinks we're just going to waltz right in and take over everything. And then, when she shows up, it turns out that the singularity has been caused by the King of Sculpting. Gosh, who could that be? The answer may surprise you. Who has made a duplicate Nero using her bride costume to be the backup. I love that dialogue line, too, when the fake Nero bride shows up and is just like, hello, everybody, it's me. You know, she's putting on her professional idol face. And regular Nero is just like, ah, no. She's too charming. Fuck, my conflicted feelings. Nero would be into herself. That's not even less, you know, we know how this works. But, like, yeah, there's so much great story beats and stuff. It's funny. I assume it's probably because Lost Belt 6 is coming, and it's, like, very, very intense, and I'm sure that, Nasi was writing up a storm, and probably running it through some of the guys at Type Moon, or maybe even Lasengle for, like, script editing at this point, because they've got to, like, dump all those fucking boxes of printer paper into the game. So I'm wondering if maybe some of the crew was, like, some of the aux writers and stuff were putting in these moments of levity because they were like, damn, this shit's gotta be heavy. But it's really good. Sorry, Chad, I had to hold in a chuckle really hard there. I was looking in my assets folder and I was like, what the fuck meme is this? And I opened it up and I was like, oh my gosh, that's real good. I'll post it in our VC special channel in a second. So pop over to our Discord, link in the video description, if you want to see what I had a chuckle about. That's right, I'm multi-social media platforming right now. I am the most interactive motherfucker. But yeah, no, it's great. This event is great, and I love how it's written, and I can't wait to get to more floors and see more stuff, because there's a lot here. It's really cool. I got somebody else to check out. That's good. I like it. But yeah, that's what we got. So that's all my show notes stuff. Let's see. We've been going for about an hour, right? It's after 8 o'clock. Yeah, it's been basically exactly an hour. The preview is lagging way the heck behind, as usual. Thanks so much for sticking with us for an hour and stuff. Let me do some of my usual cleanup business. I mentioned, by the way, there's a bonus stream poll. You should go check that out. Let's see. The weekly Patreon poll should be done. Let me go double check all that. That's my loading voice. Okay, yep. Red Ice is locked in for Fail Betrayal. Thanks. And shocking nobody. I did get a decent amount of votes, and there was a little bit of competition. Arsène Lupin has won the Fanservant Friday poll. We'll be getting to that one next week. Maybe. We have another week. We'll see. 31 days hath March. Hope you guys had a fun Ides of March, by the way. I saw many, many, many jokes about it. But yeah, this is where we get, a little what's uppy. We'll just jam out for maybe like a half hour, depending on how much you guys get talking. Is there anything you want to, in chat, you want to ask me about, the event or other FGO stuff? Is there anything I missed in news? I don't think there is anything. Other than I do want to bring up that, as usual, they are fucking slamming out those Fujimaru Doesn't Understand shorts. I think there was another one this week. Or this past week, I should say. Like, they're all over the place. They are fucking killing it. I really hope we get some official subs and some compilations soon, because they are just great. Probably waiting for us to actually have, like, a stream and stuff. Do I have figurines? Well, okay. No, I don't own any anime figurines. I do technically own some knickknacks that could be considered figurines. My maternal grandmother owned she ran like a stall at a flea market for a while. So when she passed on, I got a shitload of knickknacks from her. So I have on the top of my desk, because I have a cabinet desk, I've got like 6 little weird dragon figurines. Just shit I picked up. No, I don't own any expensive Figma though. I got an Amazon wish list, but I already have so much shit that I don't even have places to put from. I got like full shelves and stuff. I had to buy shelf clips, like shelf pegs, this week, chat, because my last set fucking broke and dumped a shelf, and like I'm running out of video games shelf space, so I had to fix that. Luckily, Amazon was like right there and like gave me what I needed right away, and I own a tape measure to check. Yes, that's a good point, Legendary. I was talking about other stuff, but Yeah, I would love to say, just, everybody, take a quick moment and remember Lance Reddick, a GOAT, a great guy, brilliant actor, loved so much stuff he was in. And in, this nerd business, not afraid to lend his voice to video game roles, had some very iconic ones in there. I am not in a state to reinstall Destiny 2 right now because it's so huge. But I've seen people in-game, taking a moment to honor him as well, and that's really cool. But in general, he seemed like a cool, down-to-earth guy who, despite being such a baller in all of his roles, was just so sick and cool that way. I don't actually know if he was ill. I assume something was wrong since he passed away suddenly. At only 60 years old, chat. Take care of yourselves, chat. But yeah, I really wish there was an easy way I could watch The Wire right now, but I assume it's on, like, HBO Max or something. Yeah, shipping was. I know, you're a little delayed, chat. Yeah, I understand. I've had a few things shipped to me from Japan. I actually... Hold on. Sorry if that made a lot of noise. Oh, but I don't know if you can... Yeah, it doesn't really jingle or anything, but I can tap the plastic in this. I'm currently holding my... They didn't make it, out of die-cast metal, because then I don't think it actually would stay together. You need some friction. But I'm holding my actual, plastic model Millennium Puzzle I ordered. I think Bandai only had a limited stock of these. Not a huge amount, though, but I actually, ordered this motherfucker from Japan and had it shipped to me. And the whole process did cost me about $50 US, because it was like... Sorry, coughing. I was gonna make a fucking coughing joke for Pokemon, but then I coughed again. Fuck. Let me suck down some water. Hold on. I'm gonna interrupt my own story. I'm mad at myself now. Fucking Salieri's gonna destroy that piano. Okay. All right. But yeah, like $30 for a model kit. For a like actual factual. I think it is technically supposed to be to scale. And it's all the parts. They literally don't give you instructions, so it's just like the anime. You have to put it together yourself. Like, okay, seems reasonable, seems cool. Glad I've got it. But it was another like $20 for shipping overseas. Fucking so. I've got it. It's assembled. It's cool. It's not. I would not technically count it as a figurine because it is like it's more like a model kit. I had to bust out the tin snips and everything. Sorry, I'm like looking down below my microphone. Let me readjust my levels. But yeah, it's there. It does not make me better at Yu-Gi-Oh, sadly. And my little Menakineko from Disney World doesn't make me luckier. No. Poor lad has a chip in it from when he fell off. If I go back to Disney World, I'll have to get a new one. Get another little friendo. That reminds me, talking about like stuff, shipping and stuff. I'm glad we get a lot of free shipping inside the States. I want to order some. Been thinking about ordering some more cardboard crack, but so many video games are coming out. Reviews are hitting for Resident Evil 4 remake. Everybody. Do we have a Metacritic score yet? Yeah, looks like. A lot of people are probably still into it now. It's had some resurgences. Yeah. Resident Evil 4 Remake has a... shout out to Capcom for getting those review copies out there bright and early. This game still doesn't come out for like another week. Not until the 24th. So, but based on 95 critic reviews, it has a Metascore critic of 93. Yes, I have seen the memes on the internet about how the, like... The top-scoring games of 2023 are RE4 Remake and Metroid Prime Remastered. Like, it's very funny. I think it's also we can put fucking, like, I genuinely think that we should probably put Dead Space up there as well. Wasn't that a, like... Let's see, what are our top hits? So, let's see. Yeah, Dead Spaces didn't break the 80, but that's still an 89. That's at number 6. So the Metacritic's like top 10 games right now. First of all, it's fucking cheating because P4 Golden is on there twice, but it's very funny. Most of its remasters are retros, which is very sad. Although some of these are like real good remakes, like Dead Space is a full-blown remake, and so is RE4. But you've got Metroid Prime Remastered, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete, Tetris Effect Connected, P4 Golden, Pistol Whip. Oh, it's a PS5 game. Ah, but it's a VR game. Okay, that's why I haven't heard of it. Yeah, that's a shame. So the VR game is number 5. Dead Space at number 6. Hi-Fi Rush, number 7. Technically tied with the score with Dead Space, so that's good. That's another new game. Also, that was the Xbox. Yeah, they're all over the place. The Xbox version of Dead Space is 6 because they're all the same scores. But you've got, like, Dead Space is on here twice. P4G is on here twice. Pizza Tower is on here. That's a, like, brand new indie game. I don't know shit about that, though. But, yeah, no, the reviews for RE4 are already out, and it's really rad. That's pretty good to see. It does kind of look like a... Yeah, some good stuff. I mean, the Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line got some good reviews. It's an 87. I like it. I put it on my list of stream stuff, but you're not gonna heckin' pick it. You won't, you cowards. Yeah, I kind of figured it was WarioWare inspired. I've got so much shit to do though. Like I said, I've been playing Ishin. Ever since we showed off. Hey, you wanna shout out your boy Lucky? Remember to slam back and check out our Monday stream, though some of you decently have. But that was Mega Man X3, and obviously that's a pretty tough game. So Lucky had some tough parts with some stuff. But we still got like 4 bosses done technically. So we're going pretty well. Yeah, Persona's had a pretty big return. The re-release of Golden and P3P on like all platforms is really good. They've also, apparently Atlas is working on another P5 spinoff, P5X, or at least they're calling it a P5 spinoff. I don't know actually how directly related it is. But it's going to be a mobile game that's not necessarily a gacha. Yeah, hopefully we'll get our damage stuff up there. The Learn, I'm sure Lucky knows how to parry. Definitely knows how to dodge. It'll be different though, but yeah, we'll get there. Yeah, it's only P3P, not an FES remake. I think you can still access that through the PS2 classics on some levels. But we got some stuff. It's good. I'm excited for RE4. I've never made it all the way through. I've watched people play because the game is so iconic, but I got like a used copy from like a hand-me-down from my brother for RE4 for like the PS2 or PS3 version. The RE4 is another game. Is one of those games that's been released like 9 million times, but it was scratched, so I couldn't actually play the game. It was bugged. So I'm excited for the remake to actually like get in there. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I think there are some marketplaces where you can get in there, but I would love to see it re-released. But yeah, P5X is a thing apparently. They say it's going to be mobile only. It's so far might just be for like leaning on like the Asian market, the East Asian market, so Japan and China. We'll see how that shakes out. Like, Atlas is still one of those companies where I could see them releasing a, Japan-only game. But we'll see. It could be available everywhere. And obviously, chat, where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, it probably has some kind of monetization, but it does, as far as I know, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a full gacha type game. From what people are saying, anyway. We'll see what happens. God, there's so many fucking PSVR titles. So I'm just scrolling through some, like, Metacritic scores for PS5 games this year. It's not great so far. If you do like JRPGs, they're pretty cool. And obviously, I want to throw out there, like, it was technically late last year, but God of War Ragnarok was real good. Like, that was very, very high. Okay, Ishin also is rated high. That's like an 81. It's down to clown. Also, in a few days, there are some fucking phenomenal games. I think we mentioned that on Monday. But check out our Monday streams. They're real neato. We like them a lot. We're having fun. There's some stuff you can do. But like, there's a lot of great games coming to PS Plus this month. Yeah, well, I got a playlist, so it should be easy for you to catch up. Like I said, that could be where we end up doing a bonus stream as well if you guys want to watch me hunt down more optional bosses and stuff. I'm going to close this now. I'll switch to my list of video games this year as we're jamming. As we're still slamming and or jamming. Yeah, that's definitely a real problem I've got. I'm, like, budgeting my time out a lot because there's a lot of really good shit. I've pre-ordered the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection because I'm, like, 2,000,000% about that. I probably should go ahead and lock in my pre-order for Grim Grimoire once more because I do absolutely love that game to death, and I want it to be successful, but I'm also like, damn, dude, I don't know if I got... I mean, I probably got time. That game's not actually that long, but I like it a lot. So there's some stuff moving around. March has still got a few good solid games coming out in it. Like obviously the RE4 remake is like a big hit there, but Bayonetta Origins, just came out and people seem to be liking it. Ooh, console version of Citizen Sleeper for PS5 and PS4. That's cute. No, as far as we know, there's no crossplay. At least there's definitely not crossplay between, like, PS5 and Switch, for instance. Yeah, that happens. I have to fight myself about replaying anything Final Fantasy VII related. Mega Man Legacy Collection comes out. I just had it. Where the heck was it? I'm scrolling the wrong way. That's it. It is the... Where are you? April 14th. With PS4, Switch, and PC versions. Yeah, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. If you haven't heard about it, this is, by the way, is why you should watch some of our other shows. We usually do What's Up in this time slot on Saturdays. That's our podcast about anything. So you should check that one up. We stay abreast of video game news and talk about releases we're into. And we also tend to chat on our weekday streams of video games. But yeah, so that'll be the April the 14th. So keep that one in mind. And yes, a decent number of us in our like Discord community. I know some people like myself. Lucky and I obviously are Lucky, I'm pretty sure, is going to pick it up. I don't know if he's going to pick it up right away. I've pre-ordered mine. Several of us are going to be on... well, if you're still interested in Diablo 4, I won't stop you, but... I would not be buying a Blizzard game sight unseen pre-review in the year of our Lord 2023. But that's a personal preference thing. Let me take another sip of water. You'll got me chatting about video games. I'm getting chatty. But yeah, I believe most of us are planning on getting it on the PS4 version, which obviously is PS5 compatible. And since there is no crossplay, very solid, very solid. So you'll see it when the reviews clock in. I think some people have had some ups and downs about Diablo 4, but we'll see. But yeah, the Battle Network Collection is going to have a slew of online features. They were talking about all kinds of stuff. You're going to be able to access all the content that was previously only, like, specially available through special codes and releases and shit in Japan. So, like, base cross Mega Man, all that weird shit is going to be, like, options you can turn on. We're going to get the areas and the story content that was cut out of Battle Network 6 because they didn't have enough room on the fucking cartridge. Like, all that shit. And hopefully, the scripts will be... I'm hoping that means they had to do a new translation run. Because Battle Network is one of those series is, like... Those games came so fast on the turnaround and had such dense boxes of scripts. There are some notable classic fuck-ups in the script. So I'm hoping we get a new translation. And also, I would assume that some of the games that were infamously glitchy, like I remember, I never actually played 4 because I always heard that 4 did have a lot of weird bugs and stuff. Like it had some bad translation, and like that actually meant either some of the mechanics were actually bugged, or because the translation was bad, you didn't understand the mechanic clearly. I just heard that the 4s were not great, so I skipped them. Yeah, they had some awkward translations. Like, we're talking, like, classics, and obviously a lot of this, like, no offense to the translators. Those guys are probably, like, underappreciated and underpaid. Literally, I think there's a manga website that's trying to replace them with, like, machine translation, and then they're just going to have somebody edit the script, which I'm like, okay, sure. If you want that, you better be paying that editor good, because they're going to have some trouble. But, like, if you've ever seen, like, for instance, again, this is because I'm watching people replay Final Fantasy VII. Like, I've got stream VODs and shit going. Final Fantasy VII has an infamously janky translation because the translation was done in about 6 months by about 3 people, and the way they were just handed the game script in Japanese by Squaresoft in, like, a spreadsheet. Like, just rows and rows of cells that are like, okay, here's this dialogue box, here's your options, here's what character says that, go down the line. So there's a lot of missing context. There's a lot of weird flip-flopping. Like, something I've noticed is that, well, it does work a little grammatically for English. Like, a lot of times they say, for instance, in the original PS1 Final Fantasy VII script, they say a lot, the Shinra, which does work for context of some lines, like, oh, the Shinra. But we understand now that that's much better said as just Shinra as a proper noun, because Shinra is the name of the president, and, the vice president, Rufus's last name, and then the name of... You wouldn't say the Shinra, you're like, Shinra Electric Power Company, or the Shinra Electric Power Company. You wouldn't necessarily say, like, Shinra like that. Oh, dang, legendary fucking style on us. Okay, enjoy your fucking smoothie, nerd. But yeah, somebody brought up in chat the Scorpion Tail, another infamously bad translation. It is literally wrong. They translated the grammar incorrectly. You are not supposed to attack because then you'll get countered attack with the tail beam. Like, fucking... Oh, this guy are sick. So, like, I assume that the Mega Man Battle Network translations were done pretty similarly and are full of weird shit because of all the, like, cyberspace shit. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I'm also personally, like, super interested in Grim Grimoire once more. I love that game to death on the PS2, so being able to play it again will be really rad. I'll probably have to, like, show it off at some point, but I don't know how. Yeah, Castlevania had some stuff. April's gonna be pretty packed. That's also gonna have Jedi Survivor at the tail end. I'm seeing some notes about that one. One of my games that I was concerned about got moved. The System Shock remake, which a lot of people are positive for, got pushed to late May. The date being listed is May 30th. So kind of a happy medium between Tears of the Kingdom and Final Fantasy 16, hopefully, because 16 is, like, late June. Excuse me, burped. That said, it's just the PC version so far. They had a Kickstarter and stuff for this, so I assume that the console versions are still coming, but they are not done of announced dates. Oh. Grim Grimoire once more. Here, I'll type the full... Oh, or I'll copy-paste, technically, the full title. But yeah, it is a Vanillaware game. It was an RTS back on the PS2. It's a great game. It's got, like, visual novel-style story. And I love the shit out of it. It's got, classic Vanillaware-type designs. It's got some real great mechanics and stuff. And the story's pretty interesting. Yeah, the anime was pretty good. Got me hooked. Oh, actually, and that reminds me. I believe they announced in their last the Capcom Spotlight they're making the seasons of the English version, the dub, NT Mega Man Battle Network or Mega Man NT Warrior available again. It's been a while, I believe, since the dub was available, so that's cool. That does mean you have to deal with early 2000s dubbing. But, it's good to see that. Good to see that shit come back. I fucking hate lost media. It's so annoying when stuff just falls out of vogue. So it's really cool to see this shit come back. But yeah, Grim Grimoire will be really cool to see. I'm very interested in that one. You guys can look up the trailers and stuff. Actually, fuck it. I'm running a live stream right now. I can. Hold on. If I mute site, that kills my YouTube bed. But. Yeah, let me get the. Let me get the. Yeah, they have like different factions for like different mechanics. This should be the gameplay trailer. Yeah, that's the one from like a month ago. It's got the dates and stuff. Oh, do they have a demo out? That's sick. I don't need the demo because I played the whole thing on PS2, but that's cool. I'm glad people seem to be reconnecting with this game. It's very fun. And it is a unproblematic wizard game. Yeah, every different... there's like a rock, paper, scissors between 4? Yeah, it's 4. Is it 4? Yes, it's 4, because there's glamour, alchemy, necromancy, sorcery. So there's like a tactical rock, paper, scissors shit, and everyone has a slightly different strategy. This story does a really good job. Like, I called it an RTS because that's how the mechanics are. There's a versus mode for sure, and I think they're adding like endless modes and challenges and stuff, but it was very story-driven, so like there was a lot of tutorializing involved. So I'm down to clown for all that stuff. But yeah, it's a super fun game. You know, very cool. But yeah, System Shock's remake got moved to May 30th, which is probably a good place for that. Yeah, Glamour Magic was fairies. Like I said, I'll probably at some point find an excuse to stream some of it just so I can like show it off, because that's one of those games that like made an impact when I was a kid. Like a lot of that stuff stuck with me. God, I'm just remembering all the little voice clips. Like there's the workers for alchemy were a little homunculi that have like their heads in bottles, and when you would pick them, like they all have a little RTS style line, so they'd be like, "My creator." Just remember the you know, ghost knights being like, "My lord." Like, yeah. And you know, you could summon like big fucking huge like ace units for a lot of stuff. So like for alchemy, you would summon a giant wheel chimera. For sorcery, it was the dragon. Like, nah, it's fucking great. Great shit. Like for glamour, your worker units are like little elf boys who are like, "Hey, what's up?" Yeah, some fucking sick shit. So it's great, and it's got that quintessential Vanillaware art style. So check it the fuck out, if you would please. But June's still looking pretty slam and jamming as well. But yeah, lots of fun stuff coming out. Lots of things to keep track of. I'm trying to keep myself from replaying Final Fantasy VII at all. Like I said, I've been watching somebody hit that up on the streams. They got a stream VOD that I'm checking out of just them playing the original game for the first time. And every time I'm reminded about a thing in Final Fantasy VII, I'm just like, oh my god, in the remake, this is going to be crazy. I'm very excited for 16, obviously, because, like, some people are kind of nervous about some stuff or some other stuff. I'm like, nah, I have no fears. I'm pretty sure I will like this game. Because I'm really liking Final Fantasy 14 as I'm playing through the story. Like, they've done a really good job of sucking me into the story and the narrative there, and a lot of their side stuff, you know, a lot of that's also, you know, produced by Yoshi P. You know, I'm currently in Heavensward. The Heavensward lead writer is the big writer on 16. The art director on, 16 formerly was a major art worker and art producer, like technical artist, like an art director for 14. After they were like the lead technical artist for Final Fantasy 12, a shitload of people from 12 went on to be the 14 team, and then went on to be the 16 team. So I'm like, okay, I'm really liking 14. I fucking love 12. That's another game that I'm like. Very recently, it was the anniversary date of 12. That's another game that I'm like, God, I really fucking love 12, and I would love to go through and actually play all of it again. I've got a save like that I was partway through streaming somewhere in like the mid to early game. I've debated just picking it up and streaming at random times, but I don't feel like I got enough time for all that shit there. But yeah, so like 16, I'm sold on, but like, it was years later, but I first played, Final Fantasy VII when I was like 10. I think I picked it up. Like, I had friends into it, because we couldn't afford shiny new PS2s yet. Even though the game was several years old at that point, but like, because I was like, 97, so I was like 4 or 5, because I have a very late birthday in the year. I was like 5 years old when the game first came out, but I picked it up later and was really into it. And like a lot of that stuff really stuck with me. Is very, very iconic, very memorable for a lot of people. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like, God, the fucking all these like, oh yeah, 12th anniversary posts. I'm like, God, I fucking love that game, but I don't. There's so many new games. I'm like, I'm only like 10 hours into Ishin right now, and RE4 remake is right around the corner, and then April's gonna have like big chunky games right away too that I'm very excited about. So like, yeah, nah, a lot of shit, plus free games and stuff coming out. But like, I know I'm gonna like 16, and so that's just kind of like a fresh look, right? You know, because I'm like, okay, it'll be new, but thematically it'll probably be like some other stuff I've seen. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna take it at it with open, and I'm gonna probably enjoy it. But like 7 is like, because that's got that history, that preamble. I'm like, ooh, though there's moments like so much of that soundtrack is so iconic for me. Like I remember all those little MIDI tunes so much, and the remake has done such a fucking phenomenal job remixing. Like, the brand new tracks are great. All the remixes are great. I still jam out to Airbuster. And, like, I'm like, yo, dog, what are they going to do for future games? Like, obviously, they you can say they shoehorned, but they worked in a One Wing Angel remix. A very cool one, with all kinds of, like, chaotic phases. But, like, there's going to be more boss fights, chat. And they only have so many boss themes. So, like, that means there's going to be more remixes and shit. And, like, there's going to be more versions of Genova, probably? Even though the Genova Dreamweaver theme that they put in, like, especially that third phase when the fucking synth hits, You're like, oh, shit. Like, I know so many people who are just, like, I've seen clips of people reacting to that beat hitting and just being like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, just the bed theme for Cosmo Canyon is so good to me. Like, I dream about that fucking flute rip and the drums. And it's gonna be so sick with a full orchestration, like real flutes and shit. And then obviously they have the fucking sad remix. There's gonna be so many fucking crying baby tears about Greatest Warrior. Fucking awoo, my guys. Like, oh, I'm not gonna be okay. And that should all be in Rebirth. Is what I'm saying, right? Like, Rebirth is going to be crazy. Somebody actually charted out, like, from the end of Midgar to the end of the actual rest of Disc 1-ish, I think. You might actually... I don't remember when exactly you put in Disc 2. But, like, somebody actually charted out the chapters, and honestly, it's like 20-ish, which... Let me see. Hold on. How many chapters in total? I know we're not talking about FGO anymore, but, this is what I do. We're doing the What's Up time. We're going to chat this out. Somebody will come along and do a very lovely time code so you can know to skip this part. But I'm just chatting. I'm just hanging out. I'm trying to give you guys the content. And also by giving you the content, I give me the watch hours, which means I'm making the money. I'm making the money. Let's see. This is like a checklist thing. Okay, there's only 18 plus some post-game stuff, so Rebirth will probably be a little longer than Remake. But, like, genuinely, like, there's so much shit they can do. And obviously, I think they can compress and rearrange a lot. The way they pitched it is you're going to see all the major locations and events of Final Fantasy VII. They may play with the order and the placement of exact things to make things make more sense. Like I said, I was rewatching somebody go through the original, and if you think about it, like, while, yes, for backstory reasons, the position of, like, that mining town of North Coral, right, where everything's all, like, bombed out and fucked up, that has a ropeway straight to the Gold Saucer. So, like, you're telling me, keep in mind, the Gold Saucer has the GP system, right? Like, they have their own fun bucks. They have fucking company script that you gotta buy. They have their own system, which you can't use regular gil for. So to stay in the hotel, you need GP. You're telling me there's a ropeway to a fucking slum-ass town, and those people aren't, like, making money off tourism? No, that's not how that works. The tram is free, by the way, at least in the original game, too. So, like, they're probably going to have to, like, rework where those things are and how they work together. Gongaga will no longer be optional. And I know that the game, like, tells you to go to Gongaga, but the layout of the actual world map is fucking stupid. Also, yes, I'm just waiting for, like, somebody to immediately insert me, Gongaga, in fucking chat now that I said it. That reminds me, I need to actually wrap up Crisis Core Reunion. I got a little bogged down in some stuff. I did not finish the last chapters, but I got most of the meat out of the way. Debates on whether or not I'll do the optional boss fight because they made the optional super boss in the Reunion version even harder. I think she now has, like, one of the highest HP scores of somebody in a Final Fantasy game ever, and I'm just like, why? Why have you done this? But yeah, like, there's some weirdness with the way the second continent is laid out and stuff, but I'm just watching these moments go by and being like, fucking A, like, hey, chat, do you remember that if you have 300,000 gil, you can buy President Shinra's old villa in Costa del Sol? There's no way that's not coming back. Like, I'm imagining that'll turn into, like, a hub location. Like, can you imagine buying your own villa house and then using that as, like, a permanent crash zone? You can always rest there. God forbid they do crazy shit, like you get a jukebox. And, like, you know, you can... Yeah, no, there's a villa for sale in Costa del Sol. It's 300,000 gil, but they say it recently came on the market because it used to belong to President Shinra, and it's like, I think it doesn't get you anything. There are items in the basement, but they're completely free. Like, you can just walk down there and take them, so you don't even need to buy the house to do that. But, like, yeah, no, I like I said, I saw somebody replay the original PS1 version, and there's a guy in there who says, yes, this house has recently come on the market. It used to belong to President Shinra. Like, yeah, it's, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's no way that's not coming back. Like, because there could be a hub. Imagine if you can interior decorate, chat. I'm very curious how they'll handle Fort Condor in Rebirth, because they made Fort Condor a minigame in the Yuffie DLC. A fucking great minigame, by the way. That was great. They could just port that system and, like, redo the models and keep the mechanics, and that's just the tower defense minigame. But you don't actually need to go to Fort Condor plot-wise during this next act. Like, what part of the game Rebirth is probably going to cover, you don't actually have to go to Fort Condor. Fort Condor is only important to the plot because of huge materia, so they might just skip it. They might be straight like, okay, Sephiroth, and I think actually the way the story is written, you've got the Mithril Mines. The Mithril Mines got to stay in. Yeah, there's the actual condor, the giant bird. I'm very interested, by the way, to see how they're going to handle the marshes, the marshlands, and Midgar Zalam. Midgar Zalam. Like, because that's an iconic shot, right? So that moment's got to be in when you see the dead fucking snake, and you're like, yo, dog, did Sephiroth do this? And you're just like, as a tiny baby child, you know, you're just like, whoa, Sephiroth, he's so cool. He can kill a snake with a tree, a giant snake. Like, I don't know. Like, that's got to be in there. But also, I'm like, will we actually, like, not fight the Midgar Zalam boss? Like, will we, you know, the Midgar Zalam boss? Like, will we do something else, or will they just reuse that as, like, the actual thing? But you're going to have to go in the Mithril Mines because that's, like, an important plot transition and stuff happens there. And also, there's some Turk stuff there. We're going to meet Elena for the first time. She's not in the remake at all because, she only shows up, she only gets promoted to be a Turk when, we break all of Reno's bones. So, like, she'll show up there, and then she, like, blabs that, like, Sephiroth is headed for Junon. So, plot-wise, we should probably go straight to Junon Town, Lower Junon, and go through all that shit. Also, by the way, I saw somebody replay that recently. The fucking Junon Parade, that's going to be a whole segment. It's going to be cracked. There's going to be, like, fucking mini-games, I bet, just like Wall Market. They're probably going to have you do a fucking rhythm game for the parade or something. I don't know. But, like, there's so much shit that's going to be so bonkers. Gold Saucer. God knows what they're going to do with the Gold Saucer theme, by the way, in the remake. I know they already had a remix in the jukebox, and there's a couple remakes out there, but I'm like, I'm not ready for that upbeat tune to hit. Like, it's a fucking earworm. But there's going to be, like, so many character backstories. I was also reminded by watching somebody play the original. It's very funny, because I'm so used to, like, how she's characterized like in like Crisis Core and other prequels, and kind of how she's characterized in later side games. Like she shows up as a character in like Dirge of Cerberus and shit. And then in Intermission, the DLC pack, like the way they've written Yuffie is completely different than how she was in the original game. In the original game, Yuffie sucks, actually. Like, I know she's only supposed to be like 16 or 17 or something, technically. I think it's like around 16. I don't know if they've adjusted her age at all for the like remake timeline or anything, but like Yuffie sucks, guys. Like, she is just an obnoxious little brat. Like, she is constantly like you go to fucking Cosmo Canyon, right? And all Yuffie can say is like, I'm Cloud, I'm bored. Why don't we go anywhere? Why don't we go somewhere with some materia, Cloud? This canyon is so boring. And I'm just like, oh my god, this will not work in the remake. So there's a whole lot of new shit to do with her. Yeah, somebody brought up in chat, Angel Blanco talking about Shi. They gave him a cameo in the remake 1, but like, is he gonna be a real party member in Rebirth? Like, how are they gonna handle him? There were some like playable Kate Shi stealth segments in Dirge of Cerberus, so I'm wondering if they might like, you know, keep some of that. Are we gonna get Mog, his mount, you know, the big Moogle boy he's riding, like as part of his combat string, or are we just gonna do like the little guy? He's just a little baby. All that shit. Like, Barrett's backstory is gonna be crazy in like full 3D voice acted new script and shit. You know, you're gonna get Nanaki's backstory, Red 13, like, so much shit. Like, I'm not actually to that part of the, like I said, I'm watching some stream archives of somebody actually playing it for the first time. Like, but, you know, this game is gonna start with I assume it's gonna start with the flashback to Nibelheim, because that is the most perfect, like, tutorial, right? Like, the most perfect tutorial is Cloud explains his backstory. In the game, Cloud is level 1 when you do that flashback. They're probably going to treat Sephiroth like they treated Sonon in the Yuffie DLC, where, like, he will probably have his own moveset. You may be able to give him ATB commands. He probably has, like, moves that he's going to do if Cloud gets fucking wiped out, but you're not going to be able to directly control him. I assume, much like they did with Barrett, they're probably going to let you actually add Tifa to your party, because in the flashbacks, Tifa's already studying under Zangen, so she, like, knows some martial arts moves, so, like, they'll probably reintroduce a low-level Tifa back to the party, so you can actually, like, get used to actually switching party members and stuff. But, like, and I hope to God they actually, like, end on a Sephiroth boss fight. Like, whether it's hopeless or not, but, like, that's just gonna be such a fucking, like, callback, call forward moment. And then after that, like, there's already a lot of characters to introduce. They got to teach you about Red 13, like, as a playable character. I assume he will be fully playable in the game, because he's got all, like, the assets and shit for it. They just didn't do it. Yeah, having watched them do the reactor scene the other way around in Crisis Core Reunion, it's going to be very interesting to see that in Remake's engine. But yeah, like, there's going to be so much fun stuff. But, like, I expect Mount Nebo will be playable a little more explorable. There's going to be a lot of exposition and shit. But, like, they got to explain Red 13 as a character, and they got to work in Yuffie. I'm not sure when they're going to work her in. I think they'll probably work her in technically earlier than when she might show up in the game. Though it could be around when she shows up in the forests outside Junon. No. It won't do that, though. Also, technically a spoiler if you're only playing Remake. But no, they're not going to do that, because that would give it away. Like, obviously there's timeline fuckery going on, which is very important. They're sticking to that. Like, they stuck to that in the DLC. The timeline shit is fucked. I'm assuming most people here are caught up with at least Final Fantasy VII, because I've been talking about it. If there's spoilers and shit in chat, I'm sorry. We're freeballing here. But I've been talking about, like, the original 7 and shit. But, like, I'm curious about some timeline things. Are there 2 Buster Swords right now? How does that work? But I think we're going to save that for, like, a reveal moment. Like, yeah, you can replay Crisis Core, you know. As well. Crisis Core just got remastered, so there's some stuff there. I mean, and that's also, honestly, Axe, kind of why I don't think they do that way. One, it doesn't make sense for the story setup, because it is supposed to be Cloud's flashback, and we've already seen him in the Nebel area in some of the early trailers. But also, technically you can already play that version in Crisis Core right now as well. Which they did do quite a lot of gameplay improvements to. So I don't think they'll fuck around too much. The fuckery will come later. But like, Yuffie is last seen at the end of the DLC riding on a chocobo after our guys. So she could show up as early as the chocobo farm. I am assuming they're not going to do world map travel. Yeah, you got to see Cowgirl Tifa. They showed her in some of the flashbacks in Remake, so her fucking cowgirl phase. But like, in the original 7, if you guys don't remember, like, the difference between Calm and the Chocobo farm, really far, honestly. Like, those guys are way the fuck out of the way. I don't think they're going to be that far apart in the remake, because I don't think we're going to do world map stuff. Like, they're probably going to do what they did at the end of Remake, where there are Chocobo stops and you can fast travel back to, like, certain areas to get side quests and shit done. Like, I suspect at some point you're probably going to be able to, like, fast travel anywhere on the Western continent, you know, Calm, Junon, etc. Maybe Fort Condor if that's there, you know, kind of back and forth, Chocobo Farm, whatever. And then in Junon you can get on the boat. No, the Chocobo Farm was not optional. Well, okay. Technically, speedrunners do have strats to avoid catching a Chocobo and dodge the Midgar's alarm. But you are not supposed to be able to do that. That is technically, you have to, like, do some weird animation skip stuff. You are supposed to have to go to the Chocobo farm to get the Chocobo lure materia, catch a Chocobo, and use that to outrun the Midgar's alarm. So I suspect that will be, like, a plot point. Like, we're going to walk to the swamp, we're going to see there's a giant fucking snake in it, and Cloud or Barrett or somebody will be like, yeah, this snake is fucking pissed. We are not going to be able to outrun it. It's huge. We're going to need a Chocobo. And they're going to, like, recenter you. And who knows, maybe that could be, like I said, maybe that'll be when Yuffie joins the party. Like, she'll show up and be like, hey, guys, we're going to need some Chocobos. I've been scouting ahead. I'm really interested in this shit you're doing. Avalanche, save the planet, you know, yada, yada, yada. Get the huge materia. Fuck Shinra. Fuck the Shinra. You're going to need a Chocobo. Like, I could see her being that moment. But I suspect that, like, you'll do the whole flashback. There'll probably be a playable Calm segment, and you'll maybe have side quests there, like how when you first play 7 Remake, you go to the Sector 7 slums and walk around and get side quests and shit. And then maybe that'll be to, like, afford enough money to, like, buy a Chocobo lure materia or rent all those Chocobos or whatever. And then you're going to go through the swamp in the Mithril Mines and then head to Lower Junon. Fucking CPR minigame, fucking dolphin minigame. What the fuck are we doing here? Then you're going to go to Upper Junon, then you get on the boat. The boat is probably going to be, like, a whole transitional chapter. There'll probably be a warning, like, hey, you're not going to be able to come back to Upper Junon or come back to Lower Junon for a while after you do this boat ride. But, like, you ride on the boat, then you do Costa del Sol. I suspect Costa del Sol will probably be like Wall Market in Remake, where it's going to be, like, they'll probably throw in some extra mini-games. Hey, chat, did you know this? Because there's a dunking minigame in the Gold Saucer in the original that sucks. There is a basketball court in the Sector 7 upper plate when you go with Jesse in Remake. But the game designer said in interviews, yeah, we thought about this. We built this. Yeah, Barrett in his sailor suit is going to be so fucking in the remake. That's going to be great. Nanaki dresses as a Shinra soldier, standing on 2 legs. It's fucking hilarious. I don't know how they're going to pull that off, but I think they'll make it work. But, like, they said they actually, like, built the basketball minigame, and then they decided that it didn't make any sense for like, you're trying to do a stealth mission, it's the middle of the night, right? It makes no fucking sense for Cloud to fucking blast hoops in the middle of the night, so they cut it. So that means that the basketball minigame is cutting. Maybe we'll get beach volleyball. We might, like, with all the girls' dresses and shit, we might get, like, a swimsuit segment. I know that Crisis Core also had some swimsuit stuff and some Costa del Sol shit. Some utterly demented Costa del Sol side quests, by the way. Like, every time Zack takes a vacation, he gets fucking ambushed by monsters. Some of which are fucking OP. It's crazy. But, like, all that shit. And then you gotta hike up to North Coral, the Coral Reactor, etc. Then Gold Saucer, Coral Town, Coral Prison, Gongaga, which, like I said, Gongaga will not be optional, and God, I hope they make the Tankosaurus, the fucking Triceratops tank. I forget what his actual name is, but please give that guy the Hell House treatment and make that guy a motherfucking boss fight, please. Oh my God, Rebirth, please. I want it so bad. Oh my God. And then after Gongaga is Cosmo Canyon. We're all going to be emotionally destroyed. That is going to be so rad to do all those segments. And then after that is Nibelheim again. And the Shinra Manor. And, like, Vincent, which will also not be optional. Like I said, I don't know where the game's going to cut off. I assume we are going to get, like, all the way... we're going to get all the party members, I'm pretty sure. But they might not all be playable. Like, I could see, like, Sid's the last guy in the line. I could see Sid being, like, Red 13 and being not playable right away. Because they're going to have to, like... We're already going to have to add, like... Depending on whether or not you played the DLC, we're going to have to add, like, 4 new characters before Sid, right? Because you're going to have Yuffie, who does have playable mechanics, in her DLC. I don't know if they're going to change her kit at all. She plays really uniquely, which I really liked, but she's like a mix of like ranged and melee, which is really neat. But they're going to have to make Red 13 playable because his outer bones are there in the game, but it's only for the last couple chapters, so he's not a full playable party member. Gonna have to have Keiichi. Ooh, cutting it at Nibelheim. I mean, they could, but that feels like way too early because you got to remember, they're planning on doing this in exactly 3 games. So, like, this game has to be Act 2, so it's going to be the most content-dense. I mean, I think it's going to end with either obtaining the Black Materia or the Black Materia gets used. I think that's got to be the ender. Because, you know, again, spoilers for FF7 if you've never played a literal 25-year-old game which has a national holiday about it. I think that the moment after North Crater, when Tifa gets captured by Shinra, I think that would be a great tutorial setup for the next game. Because you can explain, like, being lower level and having to, like, feel your shit by, like, Tifa has been captured and, you know, has to, like, figure out all of her shit again. You will have just been fucking... Assuming they keep it this way in the remake series. You'll have to escape a literal execution chamber. They might change that. That might be a little too sensitive to have a literal... Shinra use a literal gas chamber to try and do a public execution on Tifa. But, and then, like, I am assuming, right, because that ends in a very cliched slap fight between Tifa and Scarlet on top of the sister array. I assume they're going to make that a one-on-one boss fight. You're going to have to fucking fist fight Scarlet. Please. Oh, my God. Because let us not forget, Scarlet is not afraid to get down and dirty. In the cutscene where Barrett loses his arm, she's fucking blasting him, right? Like, she's in there. So, like, I assume that's gonna end with like a showdown fight between the two of them, to like kind of be the capstone there. And then you get on the high wind, and you have access to this fucking airship, and Tifa's like, okay, what the fuck are we doing? What's happening? I mean, I think you'll be able to slap Scarlet, but it might be more of a metaphorical slap. But, like, I'm just saying that, like, that moment feels like such a good, like, okay, what the fuck are we doing? We have to relearn all our moveset. We got to get all our band back together. How are we going to do this? You know? And it allows you to go minimal on certain party members, depending on, like... Again, the game's, like, 25 years old. Like, does Aerith die? Who knows? Like, there's a lot going on there. Sorry, chat. I've gotten deep down my 7 hole, but like I said, I'm fucking feeling thoughts. I am watching people actively playing the original and rewatching a remix series, and I'm like, oh, God, like, it just makes me feel things and think things. I can't wait for, I'm going to guess, because they started their press tour on 16 about in, like, January and February. I'm going to guess after 16 comes out, or after maybe July-ish. And personally, I know I'm not super deep in Final Fantasy 14. I am with Lucky called the shot earlier, and I would like to remind everybody of this. I'm personally assuming that we're going to get, like, a teaser trailer for the next Final Fantasy 14 expansion pack at the FanFest this year, which is in July. Because that'll be after 16 has come out and after they have no need for future presser about it. So that's when I assume we're going to get, like, our first, not, like, hard and fast dates, but, like, hey, maybe a name. We're going on this. Maybe if they've got a new class ready, they'll, like, show it off a little. But, like, I am also assuming, like, probably after that time is when Rebirth's, like, press release comes up. Because Square is really weird. You know, Forspoken's, like, a really weird game tonally that didn't quite land, so much so that Luminous got, like, rolled back into core Square Enix. Like, they're really hit or miss on, like, they're doing lots of remasters and remakes. They're really hit or miss on whether or not those are good. And I honestly don't know how much money they generate. So I'm pretty sure that 16 is going to sell like bonkers. They're probably going to, like I said, they're going to announce another X-Pack for 14 because we're on, what, 6.35? 6.5? We're already quite a few patches into the post-Endwalker content. You know, it's been over a year since Endwalker came out. Endwalker on sale, 50% off, by the way, on Steam. Steam Spring Sale. Join us. But like that's a pretty big moneymaker for them, and then I think that, like, Rebirth will be a big hitter for them as well. So, like, they're going to be pushing hard on those releases. So, I like I said, saying that Rebirth is going to be their Act 2, that's probably going to have the most content in it. We don't know how the number of player characters are going to roll out. Like, obviously, there's questions because of the timeline fuckery. Will there be playable Zack? Will there be playable Zack in the same party as Cloud, or will they be, like, on separate little journeys, you know? Like, will we do some weird parallels here? Will some other characters come back? Like, I'm actually, have you heard the critically acclaimed? Yeah, I mean, hey, that's how I got fucking started. Free trial up to Heavensward, yo. I bought my full version of the game before finishing Heavensward, so that's to tell you how good the free trial is, y'all. We stream it every Wednesday. I'm not kidding, by the way. Like, Wednesday is our Final Fantasy XIV stream date. If you happen to be watching this along and you don't know that, check that out. I've got a long history of these streams to go out, as I've done, like, MSQs and story stuff. Last week, I did get kicked out of the servers before I could get super far, but we still had a fun time. I completed a lot of Dragoon quests. I learned to jump better and yell more. I learned 2 new ways to poke people with a stick. But yeah, so depending on how, like, they want to handle weird shit in Rebirth and whatever the third game is titled, I could see, like I said, that moment of after North Crater, you shrink the party back down, and, like, it gives you an excuse to kind of get everybody back. And I could even see them doing, because you got access to the Highwind, I could even see them doing a thing where, like, because that you... If I'm remembering rightly, I'm not to this far in, like I said, I'm watching somebody replay the game. I'm not all that far yet, but I'm pretty sure, like, immediately after you get the Highwind, it's like, by the way, Shinra is trying to collect all the huge material because they're going to fucking huck it at Meteor. So we have to immediately go solve this problem, right? It's that, or you fight Ultima Weapon and you go to Corel Town first. But, like, to find Cloud. Depending on how all that shakes out, right, you might know them, chat. So I got into this, I'll link their first stream. Her name is Voidburger. That's her handle. I know her because she is, technically they're fianced, they're engaged. But before they had a lot of big layoffs, she used to work at Giant Bomb. But let's see. Let me grab. Oh, wow. Okay, I got 10 more of these. Jesus. But she is engaged to a gentleman named Chip Cheesem. His YouTube channel is Chip Cheesem LP. He and his buddy Grant just recently finished a... here, I'll link you guys to the first stream, VOD. Just finished a comprehensive Let's Play of Remake and, like, all its shit, and he, like, went... He even says it himself. It's less of a Let's Play and almost like a documentation of the entire game, so it's really great. But they also do Dogs Must Die, a Bizarre Podcast, or Bizarre Podcast Dogs Must Die, which is a podcast about the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime, which is almost, like, on hiatus indefinitely. They have actually recapped all of Stone Ocean, and they're going to do a final recap episode, so, like, that's also really cool, and you should check it out, and I've plugged them before. But, like I said, I've been watching he is on the same stream with her, so I've been watching the two of them go through this game, and it's really neat. And like I said, it's just reminding me of cool shit to talk about and things that they're going to show in these games that I'm really interested in. And so, like, depending on how they break stuff up, I could see them making it so that if you have to run after the huge materia immediately, like, your party members would already be on site in other places, and so that is how they can kind of, like, reintroduce you to the squad, you know? And it's going to be really interesting seeing that stuff. Like, I don't know what all will be in the third game, but I'm expecting it to be some pretty fun stuff, and the only thing I need from the third game, other than I want to see how the fuck they're going to handle Safer Sephiroth, is I just need to have that boss fight with Hojo on the top of the Sister Ray with Vincent as the leader. In the remake style. Like, just give me that. Give me that Slamma Jamma. That's going to be fucking rad. They're going to do another remix of the Genova theme. Let's go. I can't wait for Remake Vincent, by the way. Like, I'm like one of the 4 people who actually like Dirge of Cerberus, y'all. So, like, I'm hype. Wow, I've talked about Final Fantasy for like 30 minutes. Yes, hey, thanks for tuning in for all this. And thanks for the, like, 20-ish of you that are left. YouTube is giving me conflicting numbers again. Thanks so much for all the likes and shit. I know we've been talking about, like, Final Fantasy VII and shit, but I like video games. I would heartily recommend tuning into our Discordus. You can, you know, check out all of our stuff there. If you're wanna be hyped for, like, anime and manga, we got a channel for that where Lucky regularly yells about shit he's into. You know, we've got video game channels and stuff like that. All kinds of fun stuff. You should check out the Discord link in the video description, the channel, and all that fun stuff. But I'm so glad you guys could be here for our little news update and fun time, and just, you know, checking out with the peeps and the stuff and the whatnots. But that all said, like, I'm out of water and my voice is starting to get scratchy. I think Discord is all right, and our Discord community is pretty cool. But yeah, we've been going for 2 hours. We'll probably wind down here. Thanks so much for everybody who showed up. Like I said, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can also join our channel memberships, get access to membership badges and emotes. You can see them in the chat and stuff a couple of times. It's real fun. I'll probably, because it did get uploaded, I'll probably have our next Gensekai AP up for you tomorrow. So that'll be a fun time. You guys should check that one out. We're having cool slam jams and fun stuff is happening. Yeah, I see. Some of you are sleepy. That's okay. It's like 9 p.m. for me, and I'm also very tired and dry. My throat is very dry. I've been fucking yelling about Final Fantasy a lot. But like I said, I'm fucking jazzed right now. It's just a me personal thing. I'm jazzed about FGO, too. I'm probably going to go watch more of that stream archive and play more FGO. Yeah, good night, everybody. So to do our usual outro wrap-up, hey, make sure to like this video if you're watching it on YouTube, though I see that a good chunk of you did already. Thanks so much. If you're watching it later, be sure to give it a like. You can leave any comments in the comment section down below. And you can fire on up to us and check out our Discord, like I said. You know, if you want to be in more contact with us. If you're new here and haven't already, please subscribe to the channel to get more of our show. I know this one was a little off, but, you know, we do this podcast. Technically, I could say we do this podcast every week because we do Let's Talk FGO every week, and we record What's Up every week as well, which is very similar to all that video game yelling I did with chat and stuff. But, you know, slam a sub. You know, ring the bell for notifications so you know we post a new video, like that one that I posted in the middle of the night. Also, like I said, make sure to go check out that one and, like, see what I did with the assets. Give me your thoughts and shit. Thoughts and shit. God, I'm sleepy. I've been tired this whole time. So check it all out. Give us your feedback. Join channel memberships, badges, emotes, support us on Patreon. I think that's all the usual outro stuff. So, looking forward to seeing you next week for more Let's Talk FGO and What's Up as usual. Catch up on some stuff. And as far as I know, we're still on for Monday, so wait for our Monday stream. Lucky will be playing Mega Man X3 again. And hopefully we'll be punching in through there and wrapping up. Though, you know, there might be some other stuff. And I think that's all I got for you today, chat. So I'll see you guys next Tim. As usual, night, everybody. Have fun with the event. We'll get Lucky's thoughts on that next week, and I got some more stuff for you. That's it from me. Omega out. Yeah, it's true. We're going to have fucking extra stages. We'll see. Lucky's okay with it taking 3 weeks, but check out the stream if you haven't already. And like I said, check out the 14th stream. Basically, go to our just when you leave this video, click on our little channel page, and just, if you haven't watched any of those things at the top there in our most recent uploads and shit, give them a click. All right, that's it, y'all. Night.